For most, history is often learned in a classroom from a textbook or by simply going online. Yet thankfully in communities large and small, there are fun and more interactive ways to discover the past. One way is to climb aboard the virtual time machine on rails found in the cozy resort town of Kimberley, British Columbia. Operating daily from July to September, Kimberley's underground mining railway offers visitors an exhilarating journey into darkness to illuminate the rich and often dramatic history of mining. For the city of Kimberley and the entire East Kootenay region, that meant one mine in particular. Discovered in 1891, it was called the Sullivan Mine.
The original mine started up on the ski hill where it's called the North Star Mine, but they discovered there's an outcropping across the valley, so they came across the valley to explore, to prospect it, and lo and behold, if it didn't turn out to be one of the biggest mines in the world. It went in production in 1898, and they shut the doors here in the year 2001. In that period of time, over 60,000 different employees have worked in this mine. Now, this is the largest lead zinc producing mine in the world for well over 30 years.
For nearly a century, the economic backbone of Kimberley and the surrounding area was defined by the Sullivan Mine. When it officially closed in 2001, Kimberley found itself at a crossroad. To survive, the community understood it had to reinvent itself. So, building on its positives, including a popular ski resort in the winter and highly regarded golf courses in the summer, Kimberley embraced the industry of tourism, a choice that would lead directly to the development and upgrade of another important asset within the city, the KUMR, short for Kimberley's Underground Mining Railway. What began as a fun little tourist train way back in 1984 would evolve through the efforts of the Sullivan Mine and Railway Historical Society into something far more substantial by the spring of 2007.
We've been trying to do an interpretive centre for quite a long time, and finally we got an infrastructure grant from Canada and BC, and then a grant from Techcominco that allowed us to build a tunnel. Well, that just totally changed our focus, because then we were able to have a replica almost of portions of the mine, and we became very mine-driven.
With the addition of the interactive and informative Sullivan Mine Interpretive Center, the KUMR was well on its way to becoming what is today the city's most popular tourist attraction. And why not, given all it has to offer?
Well, it's really quite fun. You end up going for, it's about a 7.5 kilometer ride, and we have a commentator on the train all the time, and she tells a little bit about the history. She tells exactly what you're seeing as you're going past. So you go through the Mark Creek Valley, which is very beautiful, and you enter into our 750-foot tunnel.
So the train stops about halfway into the mine where they meet me. And I'll talk about mining, I'll run some equipment, I'll talk about mine rescue, and I just talk everything about mining, how to blast, and I'll run some equipment, and people have never seen some of this equipment. But I turn it on so they can hear the sound, and you can watch it drill a little bit, and then we stop, and then we go into a refuge station. And I talk about what it's like to be in there, you know, how long you can stay in there, and you know, how important refuge stations are.
Once the tour of the mine is finished, it's back on the train for a short ride to another fascinating historical site. This time, it's a tour of the Sullivan Mine Powerhouse, which in the day provided all the electricity and air needed to operate in a mine that featured 300 miles of tunnels.
That's really amazing. It was huge. There are huge generators in there that were almost 100 years old. And we also have a model of the mine. It's really hard to imagine how immense the Sullivan Mine really was, and the model really helps.
In total, the round-trip journey back in time, courtesy of the KUMR, takes nearly 2 hours to complete. However, that's not all, because beyond the train ride, there's even more to explore, either before you board or when you return.
We're very lucky we have an old caboose. It's one of the last of the wooden cabooses ever produced, and it's really kind of neat. We also have the Orpheum Theatre. It's a replica of the Orpheum Theatre that was in Kimberley in the early days. Then behind we actually have a miner's residence, and we've kind of fixed that up with replicas of things that would have been in the area probably in about the 20s and so on.
Like most popular family-friendly attractions, Kimberley's Underground Mining Railway offers a nugget for every age. And whether it's giving kids an opportunity to blow the train horn, or it's a loud demonstration of a mucking machine for the older crowd, The goal is to not only entertain, but to reveal to all who pay a visit Kimberley's extraordinary past underground.
We're so lucky that we had the Sullivan Mine here. I mean, it was amazing. So for the area, we don't want to lose that history. It was a tremendous history, and we want to keep that legacy going and to let people know a little bit about the history of mining and how much miners have contributed to our society. And it's wonderful to be able to do that.
If you have an idea for Northwest Profiles, send it to KSPS TV, 3911 South Regal, Spokane, Washington 99223. Northwest Profiles is a presentation of KSPS Public Television.